Okay, so today we're looking at the second page of the specimen paper from AQA. We're still on the same two extracts that we heard, but this time the questions are focusing on the second one. Now in question 1D here, you can see that we've actually got a free-form writing section and it's worth 4 whole marks. Now interestingly, in the mark scheme here, it tells us that you get an additional mark for your spelling, punctuation and grammar. If I just highlight that for you here. So making sure that that's appropriate will actually top you up to your 4th mark. So in order to get the full range of marks, the response needs to be well written, thorough and coherent, spelling, punctuation, grammar, as we've already said, and use appropriate terminology. So the answer it suggests here is that the second version is slower than the first and is more syncopated. So that was a recent word of the week, so that shouldn't be a problem for you. And there are sections where the players improvise. Now, if you look at the question, you can tell what sort of answers they were looking for straight away, because it asks you to talk about rhythm, which is why they've mentioned syncopation in their example, and it asks you to talk about tempo, which is why they've mentioned that the second version is slower. So there's the 2 main points there. Now, I must admit, considering what they've asked there are sections where the players improvise. Doesn't sound like the most logical answer. I can only assume that from the recording, there's rhythmic improvisation there. So again, the question asking you to focus on rhythm and tempo. Make your 3 points about the fact it's slower for tempo, about the use of syncopation, and in this case, the improvisation. And make sure you're talking about the second version, excerpt B, because that's what this question's about. And you should easily get all 4 marks there. Question 1E, the last one on this page, asks you what effect this has on the music. So it doesn't mean what effect is being used in the music. It's not a music technology question asking what effect does this have on the music, in other words, to the way it sounds. And they're only looking for a simple answer worth 1 mark. So if we look here in their mark scheme again, 3 possible answers are: it sounds jazzier, it sounds relaxed, or it sounds fun. So a very simple answer for a very simple question, really worth 1 mark, describing what effect these changes have. It's important that it refers back to these rather than a different effect had by another change, perhaps in pitch or melody or something like that. So that's the second page of the specimen paper. I would take this as an opportunity to revise. You should have done rhythm in yesterday's video, revise tempo, which we've done a word of the week on recently, and I would focus on syncopation as well by going back to our word of the week video. There you go. Bye-bye.